Good morning, everyone. In today's small lecture, we are going to learn about root mean square current or root mean square voltage, which is an important parameters related to the electrical networks. And I hope that most of you know about it while you were doing your electrical course, but I'm not sure about it. That's why I'm taking this topic also in my course. So it's basically what is alternating current. The first thing is that if the direction of the current in a resistor, or just give me a second, need to bring the pointer. So if the direction of the current in a resistor or in any other elements, inductor, capacitor changes alternatively, the current is called an alternating current. For example, I equals to I naught sine omega t plus phi, where omega is the angular frequency and time is the time instant where we are looking at the signal. So it's basically a sine wave like this. So for one half cycle it is positive, another half cycle it is negative, and at every time instant it is changing. So the current repeats its value after each time interval, which is equals to the time period, and t is equals to 2 pi divided by omega. This interval is called the time period. The current is positive for half the time period and is negative for the remaining half period. The maximum value of current is denoted as I naught. You can see it here, which is called the peak current or the current amplitude, or you can say it is the maximum current amplitude. The mean or average current over a time period interval from 0 to t as, so this is I bar here, so it's I and then there's a bar over it. So I bar is equals to 0 to t 1 sorry 0 to t I dt divided by 0 to t dt. So basically we are taking average, and what is an average of anything? The number of instant divided by numbers. So suppose you are taking the average of three different time instants, let's say t1 2 3. So you will add 1 plus 2 plus 3, so you will divide by 6, and whatever at that particular time instant the value of something is, you will add that and divide by the total. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6. So what we are doing is we are calculating the current from 0 to t in this time interval, and we are dividing it by total time interval. So if this total time interval is equals to capital T, or you can say it's t, then we can easily replace this 0 to t in integration dt by t, and it will be 0 to t I dt. So I average, if we are taking at any time instant small t, so this will be, the answer of this will be t only. So it will be t. So this is the answer of this part. That's why I mentioned it separately like this. And we are taking this I as equals to I naught sine omega t plus phi. So it will be I naught sine omega t plus if phi integrated over and time. So there will be a minus sign outside due to the integration. When we are integrating sine, then we get minus cos whatever the angle is. So it's, if t here it is t divided by any constant, so it's minus cos omega t plus phi divided by omega, and the minus sign is here, and we are integrating from 0 to t, so the limits of integration will come here. When you will put the upper limit, it will be omega t plus phi. When you will put the lower limit, t is equals to 0, so it will be minus cos phi. Okay, for small t equals to t, we can say omega t equals to 2 pi. So when you replace it here, omega equals to 2 pi, and so it's t is equals to capital T, then it will becomes 2 pi here. So it's cos 2 pi plus phi minus cos phi. So cos 2 pi plus phi is in the first quadrant, so it will be cos phi only. So it will be cos phi minus cos phi, which will be equals to 0. So this average or mean current value is valid for a long time value also. So it's just not valid for a particular time period. So if we take the average over a long time, the value of I bar, it's a bar here, will be same as for one time period. However, the instantaneous current at any particular time instant, I could be positive or negative at any given instant, but the quantity I square, if we are squaring the current, always remain positive. Why we are doing it? Just to find out the value of RMS current. So its I square always remain positive, and hence its average is also positive. So we are taking the average of I square. So I square average, please mind this, that there is a line here. It's due to the different color, the line is not clear here, but it's there is a line. So we are dividing the total current for a particular time period, the square of total current for a particular time period, by total time. So it's the integration of this denominator will be t, and it is 0 to t I square sine square omega t plus phi. First of all, you will change this to 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2 of this form. Remember, this is 2 here. So there is no, we have not used integration from this step to this step. We are just changing it to 1 minus cos 2 theta form. So this is constant I square, it will come outside, t is already outside. So it will be I square divided by t, 0 to t integration 1 minus cos 2 omega t plus phi 2. Now we will do the integration. So it will be, I just took everything from the previous page. So when you will integrate, 1 will change to t, integration of cos 2 omega t plus phi will be sine 2 omega t plus phi divided by this constant here is 2 and omega both. So when you will put the upper limits and lower limit for t, it will be t minus 0. For this part, it will be minus 1 upon 1 divided by 2 omega. You will put the first value of t equals to capital T, and then when you will put t equals to 0, it will be sine 2 phi. As we know that omega t equals to 2 pi, so we will put the value of omega t equals to 2 pi, it will be 4 pi. So sine 4 pi plus phi will again be in the first quadrant, and it will be equals to sine 2 phi. So it will be sine 2 phi minus sine 2 phi. This part will cancel out. So we'll remain with I square divided by 2t into t. So it will be I square divided by 2. So this is mean square current. When you will take the square root of this, then we get root of mean square current is called as root mean square current or RMS current. This is also known as virtual current, because in actual the current which is available in the circuit is the instantaneous current. So we consider this current, the existence of this current in the circuit, it's not actually present. So we basically saying it's virtually there. So it's RMS is equals to under root of I square. Remember, there is a bar here, it means the average of it. So we can say it's equals to I naught divided by 2. The equation for I square bar and IRMS are derived for one time period. However, they are valid for a long period of time also. Similarly, mean square voltage is equals to V square bar, which is equals to V naught square divided by 2, and the VRMS is equals to V naught divided by root 2. Now, what is the significance of our RMS current and RMS voltage? To understand this, we need to consider a resistor R carrying a current I equals to I naught sine omega t plus phi. The voltage across the resistor then will be equals to V equals to IR I naught R sine omega t plus phi. Just put the value of this here. Then what will be the thermal energy developed in the resistor during the time period from small t to t plus dt. So you can say for a very small time instant we are looking what will be the thermal energy developed. So it will be I square R dt. If you remember the formula for energy, so it will be I square RT. So it's I square dt here. So in place of I square, we just put I square r, I square, I naught square sine square omega t plus phi here. So thermal energy in one time period. So if we integrate it, this part, or you can say this part, over one time period, it will be from 0 to t. And then again, what we have done in the previous part, we change it to 1 minus cos 2 omega t plus phi, and from there we will get only I square r into t divided by 2. Just do the similar thing. So it will be 1 minus cos 2 omega t plus phi. Then you will do the integration divided by 2. Then you will do the integration. You will put the upper limit. Then you will put the lower limit. So what will remain there will be I square naught rt divided by 2. I square naught r already there. T will come from the, the solution of this integration, and 2 will also come from the solution of this equation. So now if I replace my I square naught square by I square RMS, then we have to bring, as we know what's the relation between I RMS and I naught. So it is I RMS, just replace I here and I here, so it will be I RMS equals to I naught divided by 2. When we have to replace the value of I naught, it will be then I naught will be equals to under root of I RMS. So we'll put the value here, 2 will cancel with 2, and we'll get I square RMS RT. So thus, if we pass a constant I RMS current through the resistor, it will produce the same thermal energy in a time period as that produced when the current I equals to I naught sine omega t plus phi pass through it will produce. Same is true for a voltage. This is valid for long period of time also, even though we calculate it for only one time period. V and I are alternating currents, as I told you earlier, are usually measured and mentioned in terms of their RMS values. And due to this reason, they are mentioned in their RMS values. When we say that the household supply, the supply which we use at our homes, is 220 volt AC, we mean that the RMS value is 220 volts, and if you need to find the peak value, it will be 220 multiplied by root 2, and that will be then close to somewhere 311 volts. Why I included this in our course is that I'm not sure that how many of you know how to find out RMS values when the peak value of a current or a voltage is given. So you must know all these things before you solve any resonance circuit or any electrical circuit. So that's why I included this small lecture in our course also, and there will be some questions, specifically the questions which we used for series RLC circuit or parallel RLC circuit. You might have to find the values of RMS current, RMS voltage, peak current, peak voltage, and all this. That's why I included it in the lectures. Thank you.